Welcome back to Music 101, lectures for February 11th. We're going into chapter 16 today. We were talking about chapter 15, which was talking about the sacred side of the music of the Middle Ages. We're now going into chapter 16, which is talking about the secular side of the music in the Middle Ages. So throughout history, there has been a human fascination with riddles and puzzles. In the Western tradition, music is linked with mathematics and geometry. So, for example, ancient Greeks, we have Pythagoras with the Pythagorean theorem, but he also had renowned for his musical experiments. And back in medieval times, music was one of the essential forms of education, as you can see there. So, moving into the secular side of music, we have the medieval minstrels and the court musicians. These were popular repertoire of songs and dances and reflect aspects of medieval life. Minstrels were wandering entertainers. The troubadours and the trouvères were the French poet musicians and of the aristocratic courts. They flourished in various courts of Europe, and most of their poems were of unrequited love, idealized love, chivalry, laments, political and moral ditties, and chronicles of the Crusades. These are developments in polyphony carry over into secular music. So we're talking about the development of polyphony in the sacred church with Notre Dame and the choir there. Now we have the secular music with the troubadours and the trouvères. So here's some manuscripts and art from the Middle Ages. MUS and the French Nova. This was the new musical style starting in the 1300s. So if you are looking in your book, we have Ars Antiques, which is the old art, and then we have the Nova, which is the new art. So it was more refined and more complex, and it had secular themes. Michaud was the foremost composer of the new song, the Nova, far-reaching influence. He had a double career. He was a clerk and a courtier. He worked at various French courts, and he collected works for posterity. He had many sacred and secular compositions. The chanson, or the French song, is courtly love poems. They have forms of rondo, ballad, and avaria. New freedom of rhythm, syncopation, and interplay of duple and triple meters. He spent his final years as a priest and a canon in the Cathedral of the Reims. So we're going to kind of give an example of Michaud's music. It's a lot more movement than the Notre Dame. I'm going to open up the Listen For guide here so that we can kind of get some. So this is a polyphonic chanson sung by three voices with the wave-like melody. And it's a rondo form, which just means that it's kind of like binary.
Here's what to listen for. In Ma fin est mon commencement, my end is my beginning, a polyphonic chanson by Michaud. This polyphonic chanson is sung by three voices. The wave-like melody contains long melismas, many notes for one text syllable. Listen to three voices singing this music, which has wave-like melody with long melismas.
The next one would be the
Here's what to
melody.
listen for in Ma fin et mon commencement by beginning, a polyphonic chanson by MUS. This polyphonic chanson is sung by three voices.
Let's see if we can actually get to the...
Here's what to listen for in Ma fin. This work by MUS is a polyphonic chanson, a multi-voice secular song. The texture of this particular song is non-imitative polyphony. The voices do not imitate one another's music. Listen to each distinctive voice in the non-imitative texture of this polyphonic chanson.
Next we have the form of the piece.
This entire 5-minute song is made up of only two shorter sections of music, A and B. You will know a part of the form is ending when you hear all three voices hold a chord and then pause. When they begin singing again, they've moved to the next part of the form. In this song, you will hear A music 5 times. Listen to the first time you hear A music. The second, the third, the fourth, and the fifth. You will hear B music 3 times. Listen to the first time you hear B music. The second time, and the third time. When you hear the A music the first, third, and fifth times, you will also hear the text from the first A section. It begins with ma fin. Listen to the words ma fin, vowel sounds ah and e, at the beginning of the first A. The third A, and the fifth A. The other 2 times you hear A music, you will hear text different from ma fin. When the text is different from the first A music, then it is labeled with a lowercase a. Listen to the word A, vowel sound A, of the first lowercase a. And to the word may, vowel sound A, of the second A. The same is true for the parts of the form labeled capital B and lowercase b. So remember to listen for three voices singing non-imitative polyphony, a wave-like melody with long melismas, and two sections of music, A and B, that are arranged to create an A-B, A-A, A-B, A-B form.
That kind of helps you with listening for this type of music that was very popular in the Middle Ages. So we'll go on through our PowerPoint. Remember, you have access to this if you use your digital access code. So we'll move on here. So we kind of talked about this already. And this just kind of gives you a breakdown of the piece. So that's kind of an example of medieval music that was secular, and kind of an example of a French, you have to forgive me, I'm also a little sick, guys, a French troubadour or trouvères, which was the secular music during the Middle Ages. We'll be going on to chapter 16 in the next video.